Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Most recently, I've spoken on the subject matter of being ashamed of being a human being. Have you ever felt that way, being ashamed of being a human being? I'm sure most of you haven't, and maybe every now and then one of you might have felt a little embarrassed at the way human beings act. The thing that gets me to be ashamed at human beings is that as a kid I was taught that there were things that individuals do, human beings did, that were different than wild beast animals, that human beings had the capacity to think, to make rational decisions. But as I look at other animals like dogs, ants, bees, everybody seems to be making rational decisions for whatever their particular species is, except now we can't really uh, you know dissect the situation with wild animals, except when you watch them, they're out there stalking one another to become recipient of the next meal from another. And we got human beings out here struggling, trying to survive, doing whatever they can, lying, cheating, stealing, terrorizing, killing, war, and everything. What for? To survive? Well, what rational decision is that that's different than what any other wild animal does? When you see a anaconda out there someplace grabbing an alligator, or a python doing something, killing something and sucking it down, or a lion eating a bear, not a bear, a bear eating a lion, no telling what you might see. You see all kinds of things. Animals trying to survive, and we human beings are trying to do the same thing. And when you look at cities, like what I saw on the camera the other day was Oakland, California. I mean, it looks like Haiti, looked like someplace in Africa, where people have not had the ability to progress. It's just pathetic. In my estimation, it's absolutely pathetic. And to call myself a social scientist, to call myself a lover of people, just does not line up with what that means. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this because I've been out here for so long. And I want to tell you this. Most of the times that I've advocated, especially when I run for public office, I've had people in the news media make statements about the difference between my candidacy and others' candidacy. And the problem that exists about my candidacy is that I care more about people than they care about themselves. Now, in my lifetime, 70 some years old, I have never heard a politician say to the people and mean it. Not only do I want to see this, but I have a proposal to make sure that every last one of you who are qualified in age and ability got a career. Not only that, we will allow you to choose your career, the one that gives you the greatest joy. And if you're not actually qualified to do that particular thing just yet, you will have access to education that it would enable you to be the best that you can be. That's the number one thing, to put everybody to work in this country that would be benefiting from the benefits of this country. Now, what does that do? Nobody can say you're not entitled. No one can say you're lazy. No one can try to put you down as a no-doer. Everybody is engaged in creating and producing goods and services that the people of this country and people of the world need when it comes down to survival, like food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, and those other things. This, I've never heard anybody do that before, but I have. And in doing that, this understanding would enable you to have access to education unlimited and unrestricted. Why? Because you need it. And you would develop the kinds of institutions in numbers and with the staffing that would be adequate to deal with the masses of people that would have to be engaged in this process. The same thing similar for healthcare. I mean, you'd have to create new facilities. You'd have to get medical personnel to be qualified to deal with the masses of sicknesses and diseases that we, the people of this country, have to experience every day. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk to you about these things, I tell you that it is satisfying these particular needs these particular wants and desires that would cause for the manifestation of peace, prosperity, and freedom, and the joy and your dreams being fulfilled. This is what I tell people, and I mean it from the bottom of my dead blasted heart. But nobody's hearing that. Nobody hears it. I used to be in the pulpit preaching until God told me that preaching wasn't going to be the answer to this. People are going to have to come out of these churches. People are going to have to come out of these pulpits and do the work themselves. Use the power of your faith and do the work yourselves. But the only thing the people in the church want to do is give their money to somebody that's lying to them, somebody that's doing nothing for them, but want to get a building so they keep on talking and pretending like they are somebody, or sell books and tapes and live in mansions like they are super rich, so people can look at them and idolize them and keep their eyes off God, because they don't have their eyes on God. If they had their eyes on God, they'd be looking at those people that's out there that's hurting. They'd be looking at those people down in Mississippi. They're looking at those people down in Alabama, Georgia, Virginia. They would be looking at those people in Tennessee. They would be looking at people where they're suffering, trying to see, where can I put the hand of God so I can change this thing? That's me. But you know what? Out of all these years, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been out here, you know, I haven't found any support for that. I've been associated with other programs that had their own ideas, and it weren't that. But they were, to some degree, we could be in an agreement. I haven't ever talked to somebody else that's representing God that had any concern about that. When they talk about that, they talk about dying and going somewhere else. So, I mean, I've had all kinds of situations here. Back turning, divorces. And you think out of all of this, they tell you about what Jesus was doing? They used to tell you that Jesus walked around and told people, if you got a lot of stuff and you want to do the righteous thing, go get rid of it and give it to the Pope. But now you got preachers out here telling you that God ain't Pope. God is the wealthiest all. God made it for all of the wealth. And so now, just in efforts to get your God-defined wealth, you joining over there with Satan. Like we just saw people over there with Trump. Christian people, they say. Big book selling. Big offering receiving. These guys over there with Trump, asking the angels to come over in and guarantee Trump a position because God wants him in this. And what is he about? He's about lying. He's about cheating. He's about stealing. He's about everything that's despicable that has been held up as a adjective of what the devil represents. And there they are over there talking about, come on over here. Now, do you understand why people are not listening to you talk about God, except those over there that are just trying to play games? And even that is dwindling. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, though, that over these years, I've had, well, at least 10 or 15 years, I've had one individual that supports me still. Now, I've had a couple. A few years back, I had a young lady that wanted to, she committed herself to working for the cause of this program. And after a few years, she had to move, and so I lost that support. Her name was Simone Addison. Lawnmower. Her name was Simone, and is, I hope, Simone Addison. Now I've had another young brother that's helped me about as much as anybody could, and he's done it over year in, year out. Now we're both probably in the same position, but he's done what he could to support me. Let me see if I can tell you his name. I want to tell you his name. His name is a young brother by the name of Christopher. Christopher has helped me. When I need somebody to talk to, I can talk to Christopher. When I need somebody to discuss something with, I can talk with Christopher. And if Christopher got any cash to help me do anything that I might need to make a sign or something like that, I could get it from Christopher. But I couldn't get it from anybody else. I wouldn't even ask for from anybody else, because most people don't even want to talk about the stuff I talk about. People are so entrenched. When you see these folks who believe in every lie that Donald Trump was telling, many of them still do, still walking around saying he was the winner of the 2020 election. You see how blind that is? Well, I want everybody else. I want the rest of the world. Well, let me bring it back down. I want the rest of the nation, the United States of America, to know that there is no difference between you and those who believe Donald Trump. Those that believe Donald Trump has bought that lie. And the rest of this country, let me say it to you again, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I can see it, the rest of this country has accepted the what you call normal lie. All of this other stuff that you figure is routine, all of the other stuff that you talked about getting back to, all of that is a lie. A bald-faced lie, just a bigger lie as that stuff that you're saying about Trump. But the people that's supporting Trump don't see the lie. And the people that see and promoting the status quo, they don't see the lie. They don't see the lie because they cannot see the vision. But that makes me sad about this country. It makes me sad about the human beings who can't see that. But I know that usually I wake up feeling sad, hurtful that the people that's living in the tent cities, people whose houses falling apart, people who are walking, people who can't go to the hospital or get education, I usually feel sorry for them because I want to do something for them. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I can't do anything for you that you don't want done. And I'm going to stop trying to wake you up because God has shown me that if you want something, you do it. No magic. You're not going to get any more manna raining out of the sky. If you want the things that I've just mentioned to you about, you're going to have to change a system that will permit that. And that's my argument. I got about 4,000 or 5,000 videos on YouTube. I got almost as many on Facebook that's constantly repeating this and repeating this. So I tell you what, I'm about tired of being disgusted. I'm about tired of being angry. Because the truth of the matter is that the evilness, the ways of this world has been so ingrained, drenched, installed, and planted in the people that it's going to take more than preaching to get it out. It's going to take suffering. It appears to me, ladies and gentlemen, that what is going on in Ukraine by Russia, what is going on in North Korea by whoever the leader is, the stuff of persecution all over the earth where people are going and put down to the max is what America is going to have to endure before they can turn back to God. America, listen to me. This is my opinion. Americans are not thinking about God. Americans are thinking about themselves and money. They cannot see God detached from money because they say God made money which will allow you to do any and everything you want to do in this country rather than just doing the righteous thing. Get the money, which means you got to sell your soul to get the money. Now, you don't believe that, and I don't want to try to convince you of that. All I want you to know is this. For these 40-some years, I've been so disappointed. I wake up every morning, you hear me talking about it, go back over some of my recent tapes. All I'm talking about is dying. I'm talking about having every kind of sicknesses and disease that one can possibly have. Old age gives it to you, and I've claimed it. And I've been really brought down to a mighty low. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm telling you this today. My kids, I got a bunch of kids. They have not gone through a lot of the pain. They've gone through pain, but they haven't gone through a lot of pain that other folks have gone through. They have heard these words come out of my mouth ever since they've been on earth. And they don't see themselves engaged in this process. Why? Because they have watched me speak. They have watched the world respond. And the world has just closed its eyes. That's how you got a Donald Trump. Because your eyes were closed. You couldn't see between that bull that Donald Trump was playing. So you got that. That's why I'm telling you, the rest of you who think that you have overcome the Donald Trump, you in the same boat that those people in. So I don't have that support. My ex-wife decided that she wanted nothing to do with it. She was more concerned about how much money I could get so we can live a good life. My current wife, she understood this from the beginning, but she's been going through this for 40 years. I know right now she's tired of this. In her mind, I can bet, either the world's going to change and they better do it now, or I should change, because there's nobody going to go this way. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to. I have to. I know the secret. I have to. I have seen the hand of God. I'm not listening to some preacher to tell me something that sounds good. I'm not listening to anybody scratch my ears. I have seen the power of God. That's why I stand out here. But I'm not going to continue to be angry. I want this to be my last videotape that I express anger. I want to glorify life. I want to glorify what it means as a people to experience in the joys of life. And in doing that, I want to be happy spiritually. I want to be happy within my being. I might not have access to the resources like cars, and I would like to have a real nice car. I might not have access to the real nice home. I would like to have a real nice home that I can do what I want in it, and everybody that come in it feels like they're at home. And all these other things that I've been sharing with you. I'd like to be able to travel to Bombay. I'd like to be able to see the rest of the world that I haven't seen before. I'd like for you to. But I probably won't get a chance to do that because the people in America I call dead. You heard this song about dry bones? Dead bones. The human race are nothing but dead. They're dead, and I'm talking about you, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes down to life, you are as dead as Methuselah. And they say he's been dead a long time. I'm not taking that back. That's how you are. In relationship to peace, prosperity, freedom, joy, and the people's dreams come true, and your position in it, you're so far from that, you're like, I wish I could turn this camera on some garbage I see right now. I turned the camera away from the garbage because I didn't want you to see the garbage. But right now, speaking about garbage, it looks just like the people in America. It looks like human beings and their lack of compassion for one another. Now, that doesn't make you feel good, but I don't want you to feel good about me. If you don't give a heck about everybody, why do I want you to feel good about me? I don't want you to feel good about me. I want you to feel good about yourself. And how you feel good about yourself is about doing something worthwhile. And what is something the most worthwhile? It's looking out for one another. That's what we came here to do. Let me see if there's anything else. Now, I want to smile. I want to continue to let the Spirit of God direct me. Not some preacher who knows nothing about God get a book that's been put together by God knows the number of people, and you and I both know how people are. There's nobody thinking about doing the will of God when it comes down to really sticking to it. Even I am violated before this and am probably violating some portion of it every day. Might not even know about it, but it might be true. That's not my intent. So what I'm saying is now, for me, every day, I want to get up, do me a little exercise, smile, and know that I got work to do for God and be glorifying God in what I'm doing, knowing that you're not going to like it, but doing it because you're sick, knowing that you're going to be upset, but doing it because you need a doctor, and be there when you don't even know it. So, yes, I have been very disappointed with the human race. I have been so disappointed, but I haven't given up on God. So I'm going to lift up God whether you like it or not. Looks like that lawnmower keeps coming through here trying to disturb stuff. But I think I'll stop here. This is about enough. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.